So I wanted to tell you some important info about the memory card that you're using with your Osmo Pocket 3, because DJI does actually put out a list of officially supported micro SD cards. So what I had to do was go ahead and buy one of those. So I'm gonna tell you which one that I ended up buying, how it's working, and I'll show you that list so you can kind of select your own off of there as well. So I'm shooting this on the Osmo Pocket 3. I actually had to just recently get a new micro SD card in order to fully use this device. I was having a ton of issues with it not working with my previous micro SD card. And that one was one that I've used in my DJI drone before. I have the original Mavic Mini. I've used it in my other like Canon camera and things like that. Basically, the first time I've ever had an issue with it is using it with this Osmo Pocket 3. So this Samsung Evo one is the previous one that I was actually using. Like I said, I did use that in my DJI Mavic Mini drone and I never had an issue. So with this, what was going on is you'll get a message saying that the write speed is slow. Basically, when you go to stop the video, what would happen was it would just stay there spinning, kind of processing extra long. It would show that the red icon was still recording even after you ended the clip. So there'd be a major delay with that. So I thought at first maybe that really wasn't too big of an issue. I actually shot a couple videos still because I was able to use it. It was just super annoying and, you know, was not seamless at all. But when I went back and looked at the footage, it actually skipped audio a couple times. And, you know, I'm sure that it had something to do with the fact that the write speed it was saying was slow and not up to the standards. Other times it would just straight up stop my video and, you know, basically cancels your recording, forcing you to stop recording. So this was a pretty big issue. And I actually took this on a trip with me and I didn't have any issues with the memory card. I literally took it on a weekend trip, shot with it a little bit, you know, intermittently for a couple of days. And the first few days I used it, I didn't have any of these issues. So they kind of came a little bit later, but it got to the point where I literally couldn't use that memory card anymore with the Pocket 3. So the important thing to note is too that you'll have your micro SD card like this. That will go directly into your Pocket 3. And then you're gonna need a converter. They all basically come with one like this, that you put this in to the full-size SD card size. That is what you're gonna stick into your computer, your laptop, in order to get your files off of that card. There's the DJI Mimo app as well. That has its own issues also. If your previews are not showing up on your phone right away, you have to put your phone in airplane mode, close out the app, open it back up, and then you'll see those preview files. That's another kind of weird quirk that I've had. And other than those two issues, honestly, I've loved this Pocket 3. So what card did I specifically go with? I went with this Lexar Professional micro SD card. This was 256 gigabytes. That's gonna cover me, you know, if I go on a trip for a week and, you know, doing other review stuff, somewhat professional stuff, I don't have to worry about storage space with that. So that's why I went with that route. Some of these other cards on this approved list, you know, only come in a couple of configurations and storage sizes and things like that. I'm sure all of these work. Like I said, these are all basically officially sanctioned by DJI. So if you want to make sure you're not going to run into any issues like I did, make sure you go with one of these on this list. This Lexar Professional one, I've been using this now all this week with shooting content. I haven't had any issues whatsoever. It's been working great. So really weird because this Samsung one, as I mentioned, the Samsung Evo, I've been using this with other devices and the Pocket 3 is the only time I ever had an issue with this one. I actually looked on Google Gemini on their AI thing. You know, they say V30 cards are kind of like the minimum that's for video. So if it's V30, it should be something that runs clean on other devices and that. I typed in this memory card and I asked Gemini if this should work with the Pocket 3. It said that it should, and it should suffice and kind of met all the parameters, but like I said, I had issues with it. So I think you really want to stick to that list. Like I said, I'm going to show that list here again. I'll put some of the links to those down in the description as well, and especially this Lexar Professional one that I'm using. And honestly, it was like another 23 bucks or something for me for that. So for 256 gigs, and for being able to use that in my Pocket 3 and, you know, being worry-free, not worrying about missing any video shots or having my audio messed up and things like that. I just know that it works with this device and I'm super happy with it. Please like the video if you found it helpful. Guys, I'm making a ton of other videos on this DJI Osmo Pocket 3 and comparisons, tutorials. So make sure to subscribe if you like this kind of content. But take care and I'll see you on the next one.